Most business owners are using AI wrong, and I don't mean you're using the wrong tools, or I don't mean you're using the wrong prompts. There is just a fundamental misunderstanding of what AI can actually do for your business, and it's costing you so much time, something you really don't want to waste. You see, when it comes to AI, there are 3 levels, but most people are stuck on level 1 and level 2. And level 3 is where things change, but we're going to get there. So let's start with level 1. This is where most people live. You know the drill. You open up ChatGPT, you ask it a question like, recommend a good marketing book. And it does. It gives you a decent response because it has all your previous chats, it knows what you're all about, and it has some really good recommendation. So you think AI is awesome, much better than Google. But really, you're just using $1 trillion technology as a slightly smarter Google search. And it's so cool, it works, you're loving your AI life. Then you move on to level 2. This is where you start to actually create things. Write me a blog post, summarize this document, analyze the data, and it does. And you're thinking, I am crushing AI, bro. Did you see that report, graphs and everything? I'm an AI genius. And this is where most people stop. They bounce around between level 1, asking questions, and level 2, creating some content. But here's the problem. The results are never quite right. There's something like kind of missing. You ask it for one thing, you get something close but not quite right, so you clarify, then it overcorrects, so you clarify again, and 30 minutes later you're thinking, bro, I should have just stopped 10 prompts ago, I could have just written the whole thing myself. Sounds familiar? Well, here is what's really happening. AI is like talking with your dad.
Step 1. Get 2 pieces of bread out. Got 'em. Get a butter knife and get some PB. Take 1 piece of bread, spread it around with the butter knife.
No, Dad, with the peanut butter.
I'm just doing what it says.
Hold on.
Get some jelly, rub it on the other half of the bread.
No, Dad, open the jelly.
Well, it doesn't say to do that. Put the breads together on top of each other. Take a big bite.
As you heard the dad say, I just did what you told me. And AI is the same. It does exactly what you tell it. And if you're vague, you're going to get vague results. You have to think of AI like hiring an intern. Fresh out of college, eager, capable. Now, if you put this intern into your business on day 1 and ask them to write you a sales report or a LinkedIn post, they're going to do their best and it's not going to be exactly what you want. But you can't blame the intern. It's not their fault. It's actually yours. I mean, you gave them nothing to work with. There's no context, there's no training, there's no examples. So the results are going to be average at best. And that is exactly what most people are doing with AI. They open up ChatGPT, type in a prompt, get something generic that is kind of better than what they could have written themselves, and they move on thinking this is just how AI works. Well, it's not. There is a much better way. Just like an intern needs a whole bunch of context and training to be useful, so does AI. Now, you can go ahead and read all these white papers on how AI works and LLMs and spend weeks figuring it out, or I can save you a bunch of time. I've distilled everything to what I call the prompt framework. 7 components that transform how AI responds to you. Do this and you'll be amazed at what you get back. Now, I will quickly say that if you're just asking AI a simple question like which is a good marketing book, you don't need to go through all of this framework, but you do need it if you want to produce things like reports or social media posts or anything that's decent that you're going to share with others. So let me break down the prompt framework. Well, firstly, when you go into your AI system, which can be ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or anything that you work with, you've got to start with the role. Tell AI who it needs to be, not you're a marketer. That's very generic. You've got to give it a job description, like you're a B2B marketing expert who specializes in cold emails for service businesses. The more specific you are to the role, the better the output. Okay, so we've got the role. Next, what is the primary goal? People just go into AI and type, write me a LinkedIn post about blank. That's going to get you kind of like meh results. What you need to do is set a goal. What is it supposed to accomplish? Here is an example. I need a LinkedIn post that tells one specific story from my talk at the Business Mastermind that teaches one clear lesson about using AI at work even when you're not technical. Now that is clear on what the aim is. Then we move on to the next bit, which is the context. Who is this for and what matters to them? So, as an example, this is for smart business professionals who want to add AI into their business. Or here's another example. This is for founders of logistic companies who are frustrated with their current software and are actively looking for alternative solutions. You see, when you give AI the background it needs, it's going to make smarter decisions. And then you have to tell AI what are their constraints. You can't just let it go out and do its own thing. This is the one that everybody skips, and this is probably the most important. It's like those situations where one partner in a relationship who's really pissed about the other, leaving dirty dishes all over the house or not closing the toothpaste, but never ever tells them, so they never get it fixed. AI needs to be told what pisses you off so that it shouldn't do it anymore. If you don't tell it, it's gonna keep doing it. So here is an example. Don't use jargon. Don't be salesy. Keep it under 100 words. No exclamation marks. No emojis. No typical AI marketing statements like, but here's the thing, etc., etc., etc. These constraints are the guardrails, and you keep updating them as you discover more and more of what you don't like that AI is producing, and you just keep telling it, stop doing it. Next up in our framework is performance. Stop saying things like, make me the best presentation, or show me the top products. What is best? What is top? That is very, very subjective. So instead, define what success looks like and what failure looks like. Here's an example. Success means a busy executive can read this on their phone in 10 seconds and know exactly why they should care. Failure is anything that sounds like a template. I told AI exactly what I'm expecting. And speaking of expecting, here's the next bit, which is the outcome. What do you expect to get? If you want to get 3 title ideas, ask for it. If you want to get 2 thumbnail concepts, ask for it. Don't assume that AI knows what you want to see. Tell it. For example, give me 1 full post and 3 alternative hooks. Or give me 3 title ideas for this video and explain why each title will resonate with my audience. Now you're going to get exactly what you're looking for, and the pro move is use examples. Show AI what good looks like for you. So if you're doing a proposal, upload a good proposal. If you're doing a LinkedIn post, upload examples of good LinkedIn posts. It's going to do so much better by detecting your tone and your style and gives you the output that sounds like you. When AI has reference materials, it learns really fast. Show, not just tell. And the more details you give it for each of these sections, the better the response will be. And that's it. That's all you need to get amazing results out of your AI. I'm going to put the entire prompt here together. And now the pro move here is take a screenshot of this, drop it into your AI and tell it, use this screenshot, make me a template out of it, clearly marking all the areas where I need to fill in. And AI is going to do that for you. And now you got your very own prompt framework ready to go and in a template form that you can copy and paste in future. Now that you're getting killer results out of level 2, you're ready for level 3. And this is where everything changes. It goes from you doing the work to AI doing the work for you. You see, at level 1 and level 2, you open up AI. You start from a blank page. You type in the prompt. You wait. You review. You fix. You go back and forth. Yes, AI is helping you, sure, but you are still the one kind of in the driving seat. Level 3 is different. Level 3 is AI automation. This is where I live. This is where AI does the work for you, without you, and where AI becomes a productive member of your team. At level 3, the AI automation saves you time. It saves you money and it generates revenue for you, all automatically. This isn't just me being hyperbolic or dramatic. These smart people agree. It's all about automations. Now, before you go running off to sign up for some done-for-you AI automation services, let me give you some warning and save you a whole bunch of time and money, because there are loads and loads of garbage out there, and I've seen so many business owners get screwed. So keep your money in your wallet for a little bit longer, and let me show you about the warning signs you need to look out for. Warning number one, when you find an AI automation service, you don't own it. When you sign up for a system, remember, you're renting access. You're paying a monthly fee to use their platform. And it sounds fine until you want to leave. Because when you do want to leave, you don't take anything with you besides what you produced. But all the value isn't in the images it produced or the blog post that it's written. The value is in the historical AI training. They're not going to give you all of that, so when you do find another provider, you're basically starting from scratch again. It's like changing your therapist or changing your doctor after they get to know you over so many years, and now you got to start again with somebody new. This is not a system, it's a trap. So heads up and be very selective with who you sign up for and how much time you spend training that system. Warning number two when finding an AI automation service is watch out for lock-ins. I have a client who signed a 12-month agreement with an automation platform. At the time, it was great. It used Midjourney to create images, which was the best option available at that time. Then Nano Banana came out, which produced far better outputs. But the platform that he bought didn't update their system and had no plans to. So he was stuck in a 12-month agreement paying for something that was already updated 3 months in. Things are moving way too fast right now. Models change, tools improve. What's best today is gonna be average in 6 weeks. Do month to month. Don't get locked into 12 months. Even if it costs you a little bit more, the flexibility is so worth it. Warning number three is my pet hate, and that's the whole credit system. I think it's a whole scam. You see, with AI system, they advertise 1,000 credits per month, 5,000 credits per month included, and that sounds like a lot, right? Well, it may be, or it may not be. You just don't know. Under the hood, AI SaaS system buy tokens from various providers like OpenAI, Google, and others. Every time you make a request within their system, it costs you tokens. It actually costs them tokens. Technically, it should be cents, but when you use a SaaS service, you're using credits. Credits are deliberately vague, and credits certainly do not equal tokens. So when you sign up for a system that says you get 1,000 credits to create images, you're not going to get 1,000 images out of it. Every time you ask for an image, it uses this vague concept of credits to work out how many tokens it should charge you. It's a whole mess. They mark this up ridiculously, and what should be costing you cents is actually costing you dollars. So that cheap $49.99 month service now lands up costing you $399 a month, because you're forever topping up your credits just to get the results that you want. Personally, as you can tell, I hate all of this, which is exactly why I built my AI system differently. With my stuff, the client buys it, they own it 100%. It's theirs. There's no lock-in, no credit nonsense. In fact, they pay the providers directly, because if you can get your stuff for cents, you should. None of this markup bullshit. Okay, my pet hate, clearly, but so look out for those warnings, and now you've got the prompt framework, and now you're going to crush your outputs. So what you should be doing, you should also start using that prompt frameworks to identify what you could automate within your business. What are you doing repeatedly? Are you loving content creating every single day, or do you wish that AI could take it off your hands and do it for you? What I tell my clients to do is to do this mini audit. And basically it means keep a running note next to their computer. Every time they do a task that they wish that it could be automated, just make a note of it. You can do the same, because more on this channel will be about taking these stupid tasks that you can get off your hands and working out how to automate them. Let me ask you this. If AI could automate one thing for your business, what would that be? Leave those in the comments. And let me guess, automatically making contents, because that's pretty much what I get asked on a daily basis. But don't worry, we're going to get there. I'll show you more. And if you want to see that stuff, do the subscribe thing. Give the video a quick thumbs up before you head out. I'll see you in the next one.